Hi, and welcome to another Meet the Animals of Prehistoric World. And I have here one of our most popular ones, Marshmallow. Marshmallow is a ball python, a leucistic, blue-eyed ball python. And we got Marshmallow a few years back, and she has been popular ever since. She's, of course, this, really striking pure white color, or near white, maybe off-white. I don't know. I don't have a color palette chart with me. But one of the things that's really cool is she has blue eyes, which is really neat. And like any ball python, there's something else she's got too, which is claws. So this type of snake, a lot of people don't realize this, but ball pythons have claws. I'm going to try to focus it here. Hopefully it's getting that. But there's a claw right here and a claw right there. You should be able to see that one. You may even be able to see that one right there. But those are claws, and they are attached to two toes, and those toes are attached to two femur bones. That's your thigh bone. Now, what's interesting is the thigh bones, the femur bones, are not attached to the spine. So with pythons like this, basically those legs are just floating in there. So they're not really an integrated part of their skeleton anymore. It's what we call vestigial organ. It's a leftover from the Mesozoic era of life, in which pythons and stuff like that, their ancestors would have had legs. So we feed her about roughly once a week. We'll give her like rats. Now we do the frozen, so they are already dead whenever they get here. So we don't do live feeding with rodents for a number of different reasons. I won't go into all those reasons. That might be good for another video, because I think there's some important stuff for people to know about with that, but we don't. And she's been eating well for the years we've had her. But she's really neat. You can even stick her on your head a little bit. Sometimes she'll just kind of wrap around there like that. Close enough. That was definitely the look I was going for. Yeah, absolutely. But a little history about ball pythons is they have a lot of history. So they actually have been pet snakes for thousands of years in West Africa, where they're from. So think countries like Gold Coast, Togo, Ghana, Benin, locations like that. And in the wild, they're going to be kind of a brown and black color. This is, of course, a little unusual, although maybe not as unusual as it would have been in the past. People have had these for so long that you can find ball pythons that are various colors out in the wild now, because the people of West Africa do breed these. There are temples dedicated to ball pythons that are hundreds of years old. So it is they have a lot of experience with people, which is really great for animals like Marshmallow being able to interact with visitors at the zoo here. So children, adults. Well, that's the only two types of humans we usually get in here is children and adults. I can't think of any other types. Is there anything other than a child and adult? I think that's it. Anyways, so they are really easygoing. So they're called the ball python because if they get scared, they'll go into a tight ball. But they also are sometimes known as the royal python because when European explorers went to West Africa specifically to document these animals, they often found them on the shoulders of West African royalty, just like this. And the snakes will be alive and well. To this day, in many West African countries where these are native, it can be illegal to hurt these. So you want to be careful to not karate chop the ball pythons when you go to West Africa. Yeah, they're pretty well liked. And there's not really too much going on for West African royalty these days, at least as far as I'm aware of. I admittedly haven't been there. But, my understanding is they're all republics. But they still hold a special place in a lot of the people's hearts there. A lot of people ask me, so why did the West Africans, make ball pythons a pet? Like, why not like a dog, like a lot of the rest of the world, or a cat, and in other parts of, Africa? And it comes down to availability. So West Africa, if you look at a map, it's pretty geographically isolated for, like early humans. You've got the giant Sahara Desert to the north. No one's crossing that without being really, really prepared. You've got the Atlantic Ocean to both the west and south. So unless you got a really nice sturdy boat, you're not going to be getting animals. Well, I guess you get a fish from there. My pet fish. Get to my pet giant squid. But and then to the east, you have the Congo jungle, which is to this day pretty impassable, not to mention slightly dangerous. So, for the people that settled in West Africa, there just wasn't really a lot of options. So you take a look at the local python and you go, yeah, you know what? That's going to be the pet. We'll put, build a little box for him, name him Fido or something, and put him in the back. That's kind of how it really all started. It all has to do with availability. But I'm glad they did, because these species are really cool. They're really easy to work with. And yeah, Marshmallow is just a great one. She came to us a few years back when her owners, they unfortunately lost their jobs. And so they did the responsible thing and tried to find them a home, sooner rather than later. Because we do get we can get rescues in and stuff where people, they wait way too long and they haven't been feeding them a long time. So I'm happy to say that Marshmallow here was in really good shape, and we really appreciated that a lot. Because it's really nice to see an animal, not suffer and things like that. So we're really happy about that. But yeah, she's super cool snake. And you can visit her here at Prehistoric World. So if you ever take a visit to Prehistoric World Reptile Zoo, this is one of the ones that you can see and even touch. She's really popular. So that's one of the things you can request while you're taking a tour here, is seeing the old marshmallow. Now this marshmallow is untoasted. We don't toast the marshmallows here. We do have a toasted one named S'mores. And maybe that'll be for another video. And speaking of another video, you might be looking back here and going, what are you in front of anyways? What is this? That will be another video too. So, all right, I think that about wraps it up. And I will see you all in the next Meet the Animals of Prehistoric World video. All right, thanks for watching, and see you all in the next video.